Hello and welcome back to the IPL 2025 auction special. This is the end of Marquee Set 2. So another bunch of high-profile players, heavy hitters going up under the hammer here. And to talk about that, I have with me Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle joining us from Perth. I think a couple of stories that have come out of this. Joy, we'll start with you first. KL Rahul, that Bangalore pulled out of that bidding race earlier than we all expected.
Absolutely. Totally unexpected. And given the circumstances, Punjab has exhausted a lot of their purse. Kolkata doesn't have that much, so they can't go very high. Them going out, Bangalore going out early meant that it absolutely fell into Delhi's hands.
Yeah.
And I think so far at 14 crores, KL Rahul is the steal of this auction.
Yeah.
At 14, wicket-keeper batsman, can bat up the order, can bat lower also if necessary. He's an absolute steal for the value of this number he's been gone for.
Were you a little surprised by that, Harsha? Because maybe we were just convinced ourselves that the Bangalore boy would go back to Bangalore.
I'm a little surprised. I expected a little bit more, I must admit. Though I think if you see the two big Indian buys so far have been captaincy buys. And that pleases me to some extent because I get a lot of flack for saying this, but I think a captain is two players. So I just wonder whether they didn't perceive Rahul to be captaincy material. I'm looking from RCB's point of view. It tells me Virat Kohli is going to be captain. They didn't go for Pant either. But KL is going to be captain now. I think going to Delhi is also a captaincy decision. And I agree with Joy. I think if people are looking for a captain batter, they might have gone a little bit higher. So DC will be, Delhi Capitals will be very happy to have got KL Rahul for that kind of money. Whether he will be happy, I don't know.
I got to tell you, though, we have to laud Harsha for that call. He said that Chahal will have a lot of bidding for him, and he's had a lot of bidding. Were you surprised by the 18 crores?
I'm very happy for him. I'm very, very happy for him because last time he was on 6 crores. He's a champion player. I'm very happy for him because over the years, he's performed very well. He's taken more wickets than anybody else. So I'm very happy for Chahal. And I mean, good on him. Clearly, Ricky Ponting and the Punjab camp are saying, look, we want a wicket-taking bowler. So I'm actually looking now down a lot of people be familiar with my little list of papers, but where is Punjab? IJKLMNOP, Punjab. They've got
alphabetically as well.
They've got Chahal.
Nice.
I just put them in alphabetical order. So they've got one fast bowler. They've got a captain and a good, aggressive top order player. They've got a Risti. So they're starting to build a team now. You're starting to see they've not got a lot of money left, but you can see they're starting to build a team, Punjab. But I am so happy for Chahal. That's unless GK hasn't already messaged him and fixed up his party.
I just did, actually. I was like, come on. I mean, he's a big-hearted guy. He'd give a party anyway, but his party's going to be slightly bigger for this one. Yeah, very happy for him. It's almost like it is reward for how well he has done in the IPL. We've always spoken about the fact that as a leg spinner in this format, you need to have a big heart. If you're bowling in Chinnaswamy, which he's bowled for a large part of that career, even bigger heart. And to then get all those wickets, to be the chess player that he is, supremely happy for him that he's been rewarded because his India place in the last 12 months has kind of fallen off. Bishnoi and Chakravarti have stolen the march there. So very happy for him and he's a good guy. Can't happen to a better guy.
No, absolutely. And as Harsha said, he is the best wrist spinner in the business in the auction at this point in time. Best Indian, definitely. Maybe Hasranga and Zampa will have something to say about international. But, you have to play 7 Indians. So he was very vital to their plans. I'm just surprised that RCB didn't go a bit longer for him. But again, RCB hasn't gone a bit longer for anybody if you look at it. And that's been one of the stories.
Yeah.
That they're sort of there at the party, but they're suddenly, instead of being the bride, they become the bridesmaid and stand out there while somebody else.
It's quite interesting. It's interesting that you say that because these two players, they didn't go after and they didn't exercise the right to match for Mohammed Siraj as well. Yeah. So they didn't do that. They had that option as well. Yeah. Were you a little surprised that they didn't exercise the RTM fight?
Yeah, I was surprised because even Siraj's price was not that high. Yeah. You're not talking about a price that's going out there. Interesting though that Gujarat Titans, at least they're the one team who's actually stuck to form. They've always said that bowlers win you tournaments and they've just gone after the bowlers.
Yeah.
They've got Rabada there. They've got, already Rashid Khan is already sitting out there. Now they've got him. they're getting a potent bowling attack, putting it together. And I think with that, Joss Butler in the top order, their top order also looks a lot more solid.
So I'll tell you now what's happening is that, remember, there's only 12 players that have gone now, right? There's another 100 plus to go just today. And then I don't know how many tomorrow, and that will be decided
tomorrow,
obviously.
yeah.
A lot more tomorrow. Now, what's going to happen now with Bangalore is, so I know Bangalore fans could be going, oh, why haven't they gone further? These players, we want these players. Now, since they have stacks of cash going into, well, there's dozens of really good players that are coming, right?
Yeah.
And Bangalore now is way ahead. Outbid quality that they have now. They are a clean almost 20 crores easy of their nearest competitor, that's Chennai. So now with them being about 25 to 30 crores ahead of most teams, that means when it goes later into the day, they have more money muscle than anyone else.
They do. They do have more money muscle than anyone else. But remember, that money muscle advantage can disappear in 2 players.
Yeah, fair point.
That's
as it has for Punjab.
As it has for Punjab.
They bought 3 players and they've come right in the mix.
They become middle class overnight.
Yeah. Harsha, but do you think this is what now with Bangalore, they can, as it goes later into the day, the fact that they've not bid big for these players that we expected them to go for, now they can pretty much have who they want in a way?
They'll have to bid smart though, because while they've got a lot of money left, there's a lot of good players that have gone. And they only retained 3 players, Kohli, Patidar, Yash Dayal. They're starting to build a batting lineup again. I'm very interested to see what kind of bowlers they go after. They didn't go big on Siraj, by the way. Siraj economy rate around 10 in recent times. They didn't go big on Siraj, which was a bit of a surprise for me. I thought they might retain Siraj.
And play the RTM. They gave up the RTM as well on him. At that price?
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. And Livingston is their new Maxwell.
Yep.
They've traded Maxwell for Livingston. So he's their new Maxwell. He'll bowl a little bit. He'll hit big. He's brilliant. He's good in the field. Maybe not as mercurial, as brilliant as Maxwell. So they're not going after Maxwell again. That's very clear. And they picked Livingston as the new Maxwell.
Yeah, but what Harsha means by that is that also the bowling option, right? Because Liam Livingston gives you the bowling option, the hard-hitting batting option. So that's the kind of player that they like. They had Cameron Green, they had Glenn Maxwell. They like that hard-hitting batter who gives them a few overs.
Yeah, and gives them a few overs. Maxwell, if you look at it now, Livingston does a little bit like Sachin used to do in the early days. He bowls seam up, he'll bowl leg spin for you, he'll bowl off spin for you, he'll bowl whatever the circumstances want. Just the kind of what they'll be looking to him to say is that, you're going to bat at 4 or 5, give us solid runs out here and give us at least 2 overs a match. You don't need to give us 4 overs. You're not a 4-over bowler, but yeah, give us 2 overs a match. And I think that is something you can do. Again, when we talk about steals, him going at 8.75, I think that's also a pretty decent figure to get a player of his quality. But what it's saying is players like Maxwell are still sitting in the auction.
Yep.
They're all sitting out there.
Yeah.
So while you've got a replacement for Livingston, for Maxwell, you could buy the real Maxwell as well.
Yeah.
He's waiting out there in the wings as well.
The real Maxwell. I like that. The real McCoy.
Not as sure about the real Maxwell. I mean, he's potential, but he averaged what? He scored 52 runs, I think, last year in 9 innings. Something like that.
And didn't hit a 6 for
I think
a few weeks.
He'll have a big pay cut, if at all. But yeah, Livingston's taken a pay cut. I think it's a good buy, I think Livingston would think about this 2 ways. He'll say, right, I'm about 2.5 crores down, but wouldn't you want to play in Bangalore? Livingston could become a big hit in Bangalore in those 7 games.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the kind of team, it's a rockstar team, right? They haven't won a trophy, but they're a rockstar team. There's a bit to be said about the fan following and what it does to your personal brand and how it pushes you forward. So I think that's an underrated virtue, isn't it, In?
Yeah, and I think lots of other things go through players' heads. Like Siraj would be, okay, I haven't gone to Bangalore, but I've gone to a place where bowlers bowl. It's not the Chinnaswamy for 7 matches in a tournament, in a year. And that's such a big thing because, the Chinnaswamy it's a death knell for bowlers. And you go out there and you cry, weep when you look at that pitch. You look at the size of the ground. So I think he's going to go there and say, wait, I'm going to bowl out here. I'm going to have Rabada on the other end. And I'm going to have Nehra tapping my shoulder and telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And
Rashid to follow.
Exactly. So lots of guys are looking at it and saying, there are little advantages. So Shreyas will be saying, okay, I'm with Ponting. We've got a new team. We've got a chance to start building it together. So I think that's kind of thing that's happening now.
Let's talk about one of our favorite, and we're talking about Gujarat. So a person who's had quite a hand to play in Gujarat's dominance and especially their trophy win is Mohammed Shami. So Mohammed Shami again is expected as part of marquee set 2. Thought that he would get more bidding. We were a little confused because he has been out of the game for a while. He's definitely not getting any younger. He's towards the end of his career. So the 10 crores, I'm a little conflicted. I don't know whether that's like higher than he would have expected, lower than he would have expected, or what people expected. Harsha, what do you think?
I think he'll be quite happy. Sunrisers like to have bowlers 10 crores. Look, Shami is 34, going on 35. He's got a 3-year deal at 10 crores. I think Shami will take it. I think he's pretty laid back character. He'll say, "Jahan bhi mujhe khila rahe, main wahan khel lunga." He's that type. He'll come up with a great Urdu one-liner if you ask him what he thinks about it. So I actually think it's not a bad buy. Siraj going to Shami rather going to Sunrisers. It's not a bad buy because look, if he's going well as he was for GT, he can be fantastic. And when he went to GT, it was a revelation of what he can do in T20 cricket because he wasn't always seen as a wow T20 bowler. So Hyderabad will be hoping that is what he can do for them. I think it's decent.
I have a theory about this. So in the middle 80s, there was this fantastic Brazilian footballer called Socrates.
Yeah.
And he was a doctor and he used to smoke 30 cigarettes a day. And he was very charismatic, midfielder in that 82 Brazilian team. And they asked him that, he went to Italy to play, one of those small sides, not one of the bigger ones, not Naples or this thing. And they asked him, "Oh, why have you come? We've come to play here, Italian football, He says, no. Football is on the side. I've come to read the works of Gramsci, who is the philosopher in the original Italian. That's what I've really come to do." Wow. So I think Shami is there to make sure, to check whether the Moradabadi biryani is the Hyderabadi biryani any better than the Moradabadi biryani. Because he's going to get some fantastic food out there. But jokes aside, looking at all that, also just bowling with Pat Cummins is a guy who understands class.
Yeah.
So just having on the other side a class act like Pat Cummins saying, mate, Shami knows what he has to do. And Shami works best when people don't tell him what to do. Okay, bowl here, bowl there. You're a class act. This guy, Pat Cummins, will just give him the ball and say, "Go take wickets up front. Don't bother about anything." And that's the kind of...
SRH though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, go on. No. The thing with SRH though is they've got 45. They had 45 left. They've now spent 10 on Shami. They've got 35 left, and they've got 6 players.
Yep.
So they've got to start buying very well. So I'm thinking of all the players who are coming down now, and they're saying, "Oops, just look at what's left with each of the teams. How much is left for me?" So we're already only 2 rounds into this auction, having a lot of teams starting to look for value picks. And I think as we go along in this auction, we're going to see a lot of good players going for lesser than you would have thought. Because look at Hyderabad; they've got 35 crores. They've got a keeper middle order bat. They've got 2 openers, 1 all-rounder. So it's starting to come together, this team, but there's still a lot of places to be filled. And they've got 35 crores. So they're going to start looking at the 3-4 crore kind of players.
But isn't that true for most teams actually, Joy? Because that's what's happening.
It is at the moment, yes.
They've all come with these sacks of cash. And the marquee players, they've all gone after, you've seen 25, 26 crores, 18 crores. They've all gone after them, which means that everyone's left with 30, 40 crores and almost 18, 19 players to buy. So it is going to happen that the first set has gone for big money, and then a lot of very skilled, experienced players coming down the line today will actually be undervalued.
Absolutely. And this happens in the auction. One of the big problems, if you remember a few years back, Ashwin spoke about it, that where you come in the auction hugely determines your price because it depends on what purse is left. And it's not even that purse of all teams matters. It's the purse of the 3 or 4 teams who needs you matters.
I just feel like after 2 rounds of bidding, I think somebody should just walk up there and say, "All right, all the teams, you've got 50 crores more each." Just like a surprise, like a little trump card. Because the fact that all these people have the money. They want it in the purse. Just give it to them so that all the other players can make more money. I don't know if my dear friend Parthiv Patel agrees with me, who's joining us from Jeddah. He, of course, as you have seen, is on the table with the Gujarat Titans. He's got Ashish Nehra on his side. He's got the calm voice of Vikram Solanki next to him as well. Parthiv, how's it going at the auction? Maza aa raha, bhai?
हाँ very good. मजा आया. इससे बेहतर क्या हो सकता है? That's something which we had planned. We had planned for Butler. We wanted Rabada. Both of them were a first choice pick, and we had a budget in our mind as well. And to get those players in the budget we had expected, so it was a great start for us.
I just want to say, you had a little takeaway coffee cup with you. Are they not serving you coffee there? You have to bring it from outside?
No, it was a break. This is a truly Gujarati table. There's a takeaway coffee and there is thepla also here.
feeling absolutely at home. But tell me, how's the atmosphere in the room, and the fact that the auction has gone to Jeddah? What's the atmosphere in the room, and how is it being received outside as well?
Yeah, it's been great. Once we reached hotel, everyone was here. Happy to see a lot of cricketers coming in. They welcomed us really well. It's a great venue. This is my first time in the auction table, so it does get slightly tensed when you are bidding for someone which you want. But otherwise, you can just enjoy the show like we did for Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer.
Shiraz, was that something you were thinking of, Parthiv, all the time, or is it something that you're opportunistic?
No, we were thinking about Siraj without a doubt. If you look at Gujarat Titans thinking, we always look for experienced player, and Siraj gets along really well with all of us. We were actually thinking that RCB might use RTM, but they didn't. So we're quite happy to have Siraj with us.
Parthiv, I know that you guys get along well, because I remember that one evening when we sat in Bangalore after Siraj had a bad day in the field. There was you, Ashu, him, and me, and I really remember that evening so well, because it just showed me what good coaching is, that you have to sometimes sit with a player when he's had a bad day rather than when he's had a good day. So I remember that. So I can imagine seeing a lot more arm around the shoulder that Ashu does so well. But about your table, tell me, who's the coolest cat there? Is it Vic or is it Ashu? Who's the coolest one?
Now I think I am the coolest one here. I have to say, because there are few people who are not showing it. But yeah, see, obviously that it can get tensed. Sometimes where you have to take a call right there and then. But if you're well planned, if you're well prepared, I think it can go your way.
Yeah, obviously, I can tell that Parthiv is the coolest because he's the only one wearing that Bandgala jacket, right? He's feeling a little cold.
That's the reason why. So we had a lot of money, so we should look like that. We can.
Okay, I'm going to become a telephone operator now, and I'm going to connect Jeddah with Perth.
It's a 5-hour time difference, PP. So if I'm sounding a bit sleepy, it will come through like that. Just a couple of things. Your thoughts on Shami? Shami's been very good. Were you a little worried, injury prone? I don't know how much he'll come back, because Shami has been very good for you. And your thoughts on the adjacent tables with 25, 26 crores being bid?
I think we were surprised with the 26, 27 crore bids, without a doubt. But, everyone comes up with their own plans. Since I'm now looking at this auction, we don't know what RCB's plan is. Usually when you see a couple of marquee lists, you know what the plan would be. But here, everyone thought that KL will go to RCB. So, we were quite surprised. But yeah, Mohammed Shami, obviously, fitness is definitely a bit of a concern for us, without a doubt. And we were trying to look for it. But if we get a fitter player, which is a certainty, when you go in mega auction, you don't want someone to get injured before the tournament starts, and someone who's going to cost you at least 10 crores. So, that can actually, get your plans to all over the place. So I think that was the thinking.
Parthiv, one last question though.
And by the way, PP, the hair is looking really good now.
Thank you, Harsha. There's a lot of effort has gone in.
It's PP. Quick question about because the first time that the new RTM rule actually has come into play was for Rishabh Pant, when it jumped when LSG jumped in from 20 something to 27 straight away. What was the reaction in the room when that happened?
So actually, we all thought that it would be like 24, but I'm sure they had that number in mind. They would have done their calculation, and so they were quite happy to spend 27 crores to Rishabh Pant. We know what Rishabh Pant can do. But yeah, we all were a bit surprised that the number went straight to 27.
Yeah, I had a feeling because we were watching it here again, went, whoa! So I think everyone in the room must have gone like that as well. Okay, there's a lot of players coming up. I know that there's a lot of excitement because 12 players are done. But you guys obviously are aware now that there's a lot of skilled and value players coming up who you guys can get at a steal.
Yeah, we can. And I think for all of you, I can send the PPT which we have prepared so that you can get those names as well.
Can you, PP?
But,
PP, you can send it as a one-time view file. We'll just view it.
Yeah, one time you
Yeah, and delete it. अच्छा, अभी 2 बारी फॉर्मल बात क्या कर ली मेरे साथ ऐसे मजाक कर रहा है ये? हाँ, वापस इधर ही आना है भाई. मेरे पास ही आना है वापस.
Oh, he's a character.
Well, it's great to PP. It's great to see you there at the table. It's a really good bunch. So. Say my hello to the boys sitting right next to you.
Yes.
And have a good auction, and we'll try and catch up with you again during the course of today and tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much. That's Parthiv Patel, who has joined the Gujarat Titans support staff. And I think, Joy, which we have to talk about that, I think inspired because just him, A, his scouting knowledge that he has, and B, the fact that you have a Gujarati. It's the Gujarat Cricket Association. It's good to have because these days you also see a lot of things happen, right? Where the soil matters, a lot of other things come into play which you can tell us about.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I mean, him being able to talk to the curator, speak to him, try and understand what's happening out here. That's one. He's been the Gujarat captain for so long, so knows the association. There are 1,000 things that you need to do in stadiums, from dressing rooms to and remember, all that falls under the local federation. So to have them, somebody who's fantastic with them, has been a standout captain for them, it's so many bridges that you've built. And thirdly, you're absolutely right. I mean, Parthiv is the one guy who knows every Indian recent cricketer. I mean, DK and him both know a lot, but Parthiv has spent even more time on the domestic circuit than DK.
Yeah.
And the thing about Parthiv is that, therefore, what happens is, very often you see a score, but you don't know what it really means. So, you'll tell Parthiv that, okay, this fast bowler has bowled very well. And he'll say, yeah, but that's Lali. And, Lali, this is the problem with Lali.
So context.
Context of what the ball, this is a match in September, October, the, pitches are still, doing a lot, okay? Yeah. Whereas a century scored in March, April, May, where, it's absolutely, the ball's not coming on at all. So even to understand that these things have different values, it needs somebody who knows the domestic circuit upside down. PP is literally the PPpedia of Indian domestic cricket.
Yeah, he really is. And the thing is, a lot of people discount his baby face and discount his wisdom on account of his baby face. But behind that baby face is a brain that ticks, especially with cricket, with domestic cricket, with all things cricket. It ticks at, 1,000 miles per hour. So, yeah, good to see him there. Good to see him all decked up, all nice and formal. Let's have a look at the big buys that have happened so far. Well, it's been a couple of hours into the auction, but I feel like the action's already
I know.
Fever pitch, as you like to call it. So, the most expensive buy ever in the history of the tournament. Rishabh Pant, no surprise, 27 crores there. 26.75 to the captain who's currently holding the trophy but is not with his team anymore. So he's gone to Punjab, reunited with his old coach Ricky Ponting from Delhi. So that's going to be perhaps the leadership unit there. Punjab also has Arshdeep at 18 crores. So he's gone back at exactly the same amount they would have probably retained him at. Then you have Punjab again with Chahal at 18 crores. So yeah, they went in with 100 plus. So they, of course, have been the big spenders in this first session. No surprise there at all. Then Gujarat got Jos Buttler for 15.75. There's Delhi with KL Rahul at 14. Definitely a bargain buy. Gujarat has got Mohammed Siraj, 12.25. Delhi's got Mitchell Stark at, he's taken quite a pay cut from his last check with the Knight Riders last year. Gujarat has also got Kagiso Rabada, so they've got a nice little new ball attack over there with Kagiso Rabada and Mohammed Siraj. And then they have, you have Mohammed Shami at 10 crores for Hyderabad.
So only 2 players haven't breached the 10 crore mark of the 12. So that's Livingston, who's at 8.75, and David Miller. So only these 2 didn't reach there. But that's interesting because a couple of things that I was noticing out there. One is, under the radar, Delhi has got 2 very reasonably priced. For 25 crores, if somebody told you that for about 25 crores and change, you've got yourself Stark and KL Rahul. You'd be celebrating at a time when last year Stark went for 24 and a half alone.
Yeah.
So I think Delhi has done well for themselves. They've got themselves well. The other is who's not there. So you look at that Delhi team and you're starting to see something form out there. Somebody, because Rahul will play in the top order as well. You've got Stark out there. You've got the first of your fast bowlers. Now you start building a unit around it. So I think there's something out here. But also what you're not seeing so far is, you've seen Kolkata make a bit of noise, but they haven't yet picked up anyone. They've sort of gone out there and said, okay, we are here in the auction.
Yeah.
But the guys you've almost not heard from at all is Mumbai. I mean, they bid once or twice and then they've just stayed silent. They're sitting out there quietly waiting for their chance to come. So I think that's going to be the interesting one, because Mumbai must have done their homework. They're a very, very well-schooled. Their scouting department is top class. So I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do in the rest of the auction.
But also they've got, Harsha, they've actually come in because they are hamstrung for lack of cash, because they have... they've retained so many top players. Their core is fantastic. So perhaps not unsurprising from Mumbai here?
No, I think they're very clear about who they want. And I think Joy said Quinton de Kock to Mumbai. They look at players like those. Look, they've got a very solid retention core. So they'll start looking out for those. I think they took a chance on Stark. They just said, "Chalo, let's take a chance." If you never know if he falls in your lap for that much. The moment it went above 6, if you noticed, Mumbai pulled out.
Yeah.
So, look, they've already got 2 bowlers, whatever. They'll look for a left-hand bowler. They'll look for an opening batter, but they'll start looking for lots of these 5-6 crore kind of players. So I think they'll sit back a little. Chennai is sitting back a little. Now we're getting into 3. I think we might see the first unsold player starting to appear in 3. There's some big buys down the order. I think Mumbai would be very keen to have Jofra Archer. A lot of people would be keen to have Archer. So those players will start coming in, the Janssens, the Currans. So you'll have to wait for that. My gut feel is in lot 3, we might see the first unsold players.
I'm just not sure about everything. I agree with you, Harsha. I'm not sure about Mumbai and Jofra Archer. The train never arrived in the station.
Once bitten, twice shy?
Yeah. They just waited and waited. The train never came.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's the saying in Hindi, right? Ke haath aaya par muh na laga. So that's what happened, right? With them previously. Okay, so let's just do the highlights of what have happened, because a lot has happened in the last 2.5 hours that the auction has been on. I think in a summary, Rishabh Pant, of course, being the highest sold player, highest amount, 27 crores to him. He's gone to Lucknow. Lucknow's got a core of, their middle order is all left-handed now. So left-handed, Nicholas Pooran, Miller, Rishabh Pant. Is it because their mentor is left-handed?
Yeah, exactly. And he's got Mohsin Khan taking the ball away as well.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if Zach is also bowling out there.
Yeah. Harsha, this is looking good. This is looking really good.
Wait, I think Abhishek Porel can't be there. I think Abhishek Porel...
No, that's a misprint. I'm sorry. No Abhishek Porel there.
Abhishek Porel, I probably...
Because all the left-handers are going there.
I know, sorry. They said,
our graphics person put him also. Left-hander hai, idhar hi hoga. Lucknow mein. But yeah, there's...
Maybe the graphics guy is left-handed too.
For them right now? Harsha's on mute.
No, I said maybe the graphics guy is left-handed too.
Yeah, that's what's happening. All the left-handers are going towards... Pehle aap. Left-hand se hain? Pehle aap jaiye. Pehle aap. Shreyas Iyer.
Delhi's got only left-hand bowlers.
Yep.
In Delhi, Akshar, Kuldeep, Stark. So there's a preponderance of left-handedness.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
There you go. Good call there.
Keeps the left-hander in me very happy.
There you go. We have another one here as well. Shreyas Iyer, who was at 26.75. So Rishabh just edging ahead of that. We saw the new RTM rule being played out for the first time. We saw a few players that were kind of bargain buys right there as well. Not in this list for sure. This is, maybe you say KL Rahul at 14, expected him to go slightly higher than that. I feel like even Mohammed Siraj, an Indian quick at 12.25. Mohammed Siraj to Gujarat. I think that's a very good buy as well.
Yeah, and especially if he's much younger than, say, Shami.
Yeah.
Just the age difference, so he's a younger, fitter player out there. So I think they got him at a very, very good price. And I think Parthiv spoke about it, that, fitness has a say. See, the problem is you can afford, you're going to have injuries. Every team has injuries. They just hope that the guys that they spend the biggest money on, those guys remain fit. Yeah. So they didn't want to take a chance. If Shami had been 4 crores, they would have taken a chance on him.
Yeah.
But on a 10 crore once you cross that sort of threshold of 8, 9, 10 crores, they need guys whose fitness they're fairly certain of, barring, unforeseen incidents.
Harsha, let's have a look at the players that are coming up. At some of the sets that are coming up, and try to predict the ones on whom the action could be quite heated. There's a Harry Brook there, Devon Conway, Jake Fraser-McGurk, Aiden Markram, Devdutt Padikkal, Rahul Tripathi, David Warner. David Warner is there as well. Which one of these batters?
Working with David Warner. I'm working with David Warner here every day, so I'm going to be meeting him tomorrow. So I hope he's bought, because otherwise he might be in a bad mood. But when you're looking at someone like David Warner, he's 36, 37, 38 almost. He's retired. My gut feel is that people will just wait and see a little bit on people like David Warner, maybe Rahul Tripathi. That's why I said we might start seeing the first unsold players, not because teams don't want them, but because teams are now a little uncertain with the money they've got left. They want to be very careful. So my feeling is the likes of Warner will come back into the auction, and there someone might look at them. Harry Brook's the interesting one. Hasn't had a great IPL apart from that 100, but he's the kid everybody in England is talking about. So I expect Harry Brook to get a decent price, maybe not break the bank. Chennai, look out for Chennai with Conway. Fraser-McGurk is going to be, it's going to be a bit of a gamble. Ever since he set that IPL alight with Delhi, he hasn't scored a run. He absolutely hasn't scored a run since then. So it'll be a bit of a gamble with Fraser-McGurk, but I won't be surprised if Delhi go for it, or if Punjab seem to find him a bargain buy. I don't see a lot of money going, but they could be famous last words.
My prediction is that the flattest wicket will get him.
Yeah, he'll be hoping the flattest wicket gets him.
Yeah,
See if he gets him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the flattest wicket will perhaps get him, because he was very good with that. With the ball moving around just a little bit in Australia right now against Pakistan, he was showed out a little bit, but he's a young kid, right? But Harry Brook, of course, has proven himself in the international circuit a lot more. But these are the batters. Let's have a look at the all-rounders that are coming up. This is one lot that I'm quite excited about. There's Ashwin there, Venkatesh Iyer, Mitch Marsh, Glenn Maxwell, Harsha Patel, Rachin Ravindra, Marcus Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis for the right to match card. They have an RTM, don't they, Lucknow?
Yeah, they do. I think they do have a lot to match. This, for me, is going to be the most... of the remaining sets that you have from now on, this is going to be the set that makes the most money. Because I think some players out there, you're going to see a lot of this thing. I think Venkatesh Iyer people are going to go for... Because remember one thing, he's opened, he's batted at 3, he's batted as a finisher for India and for KKR. Gives you a couple of overs, though KKR didn't have to use it last year because there were so many bowlers they had. I think Venkatesh Iyer is somebody who will go for a higher price than we think. I'd love to see Ashwin return to his home, but let's see.
Two players in there, right? In set 3 and 4. There's 2 players, and it just shows you the almost embarrassment of riches in Indian cricket right now. Harsha, Rahul Tripathi and Venkatesh Iyer. Both these names were being talked about for India T20, put them in the team right now. They were as well. And suddenly it's 24 months and they're just out of contention completely.
I think, if I remember right, Rahul Tripathi's last innings for India was 44 of 22 balls or something like that. Something. He just went for it. He played a wonderful, selfless innings. He's a very agreeable personality. But I think people might just wait and see and look for younger players there, because he's not had a great time in recent times in domestic cricket. But there's one name we're all missing, and teams will be very happy to get him as long as he stays fit, because he can be destructive at the top order. He can bowl you 2 or 3 overs regularly, but keep your eyes open for Mitchell Marsh. If Mitch Marsh can promise that his groin, his calf, his thigh and his ankle will all obey him, there's a very good buy there.
Yep, absolutely.
And Stoinis, I think, is the prize of
RTM,
that. Definitely. It's a huge... Stoinis is a big player.
It'll be very interesting if what Lucknow did for Rishabh Pant happens to them for Marcus Stoinis. Yeah. Or somebody just they know they're going to play the RTM, so they are on the reverse end of the bidding going up by 20%.
Okay.
The last one. That could happen, but that's if they choose to play the right to match card, which they may actually for him. We got the wicket-keepers. That's the set that's going to come after that, and quite exciting as well. Johnny Bairstow, Quinton de Kock, Gurbaz, Ishan, Salt, Jitesh. Ooh, this is a good one. I was really thinking Phil Salt or Marco Jansen would be the highest priced foreign players, but no one's got any money left now.
Yeah, but this is also a good set, really. Ishan Kishan, Phil Salt, Jitesh, we're talking big money here, Quinton. Everyone is now looking at their purses and wondering, did I just blow up a bit much? I should have saved some for the rest of it.
Which ones of these exciting you, Harsha?
A lot of them. Phil Salt, very much so. Maybe an RCB kind of team because they'll need that kind of player. But Phil Salt, very exciting. Quietly, the players from Afghanistan are value for money. Rahmanullah Gurbaz is good value for money. Quinton de Kock, I think people will be a little wary. He's not playing international cricket very much anymore. So it'll be a little wary of Quinton de Kock. Jitesh is the interesting one. All the keepers bat in the top three. Jitesh is the one keeper who comes in at 6. His fortunes have taken a little bit of a dip in recent times. He's lost his place in the Indian team. So Jitesh is good. I'm not as convinced about Johnny Bairstow now because I think last year he came in, he's lost his England place. I like Ishan Kishan, man. As I told you right in the beginning, if you ask Ishan Kishan, how are you feeling? If he's feeling good, he's a destroyer. He's a very, very good player to have in your team. That great Mumbai Indians team of 2020, Ishan Kishan was in it. But this is going to be a really good buy. Joy talked about the all-rounders. The all-rounders and the wicket-keeper batters is going to be a very interesting part of the auction, especially if someone's gone big earlier. Suppose RCB uses up another 20 crores. Now suddenly there's going to be people looking for bargains.
We had spoken about the fact that Gujarat could go for someone like Ishan Kishan. They can't anymore because now that comes into play as well. They've got a 1-2-3 sorted in Shubman, Sudarshan and Joss Butler. Ishan's not going to play.
I can't think. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point.
See, so that comes into play as well.
Exactly. How late you go and who has money is one thing. But the other part is...
Who has space?
Who has space for the kind of game you play?
Yeah. So, well, valid points. These are the players that are coming up. Let's give you a quick summary of what has happened so far in the 2.5 hours that the auction has been on. Here you go. These are the players that have been bought and the salary cap. So how much money is available to each team? So around 50 for Delhi, Punjab, Chennai, a little over Kolkata. And then there's a few 40s. There's a couple of 30s. And those are the teams that are concerned. There's Hyderabad at 35. Gujarat at 30, Lucknow at 34. These are teams that can't go really hard over any player. Now, it goes into double digits and you may find them backing out.
Yeah, but you've seen strange things.
Just a quick one before we finish.
Yes.
Sorry, just a quick one before we finish. You look down those numbers. Punjab 47.75. Was it Rajasthan down at the bottom on 41 and Mumbai on 45? Rajasthan have got 6 players that they wanted and have 41 left. Mumbai have got 5 gun players that they wanted and have got 45 left. And Punjab have gone in the auction with 2 uncapped player retentions and 3 buys, and they have only 47 left. So people like Mumbai and Rajasthan are saying, hang on, don't get carried away by what's happening in that auction. We're all at a level playing field now. And if anything, for a marginal difference, we've got all the players that we wanted.
It's such a good point, right?
Absolutely.
Such a good point. And he's talking about just the experience because Punjab had retained 2 players, but inexperienced players, right? Young players, new players,
Correct.
Inexperienced players. So the others, well, they've got gun solid players. Their core from previous teams. So a lot comes there. A lot comes there in terms of just not just experience and skill and how much they've played and what they can do, but also the fact that they've all kind of played together. So that helps as well. It's not just 5 gun players. It's 5 gun players who've played together. So they can literally set the culture of your team going forward for all your new buys. Great point. As yet, again, from Mr. Bhogle, even though it's closing in on midnight for him in Perth. But yeah, sharp as a tack as usual. All right, well, we're going to scoot off now and we're going to come back at the end of, I think we'll come in about an hour or so. Yeah. So just look at your watches and look at them again after an hour.
You guys eating all your gourmet food. My takeaways just arrived, so...
What have you got? Tell us. Excite us. What have you got? Tell us. Is it a veg risotto?
If I give you one guess, you'll get it right.
Veg pizza.
When you're juggling things and eating quickly.
Veg pizza? Did I get it right? Did I?
It's my first pizza on tour, though. It's my first pizza on tour.
How did I know this? See, this This is how much time we have spent with each other. One
You're a
gets-
part-time anchor and full-time caterer.
yeah. I like to call it maitre d', full-time
sounds
maitre d' and F&B consultant. I do this on the side to publicize that business. And I can do it because our producer's been asleep since 2021. So I can do whatever I want.
Didn't notice.
Yeah. Please call me for your large catering orders and available for shadis and children's mundan ceremony. Please call me. That's all we have time for Harsha Bhogle, Joy Bhattacharya and Gaurav Kapur. It is bye-bye on Cricbuzz Live. भाई वो मुंडन का केटरिंग अभी करते हैं.
कहाँ से ले आते हो?